doing? Good to see you all. I can't actually see you, but I'm envisioning that you're there with me. Yeah, you're all kind of just like, oh, first of the month, 1st of June. Now we know, okay, theoretically, as hairdressers, we're going back on the 4th of July. That's what we're prepping for. That's what we're ready for. We don't know whether that's happening or not, but that's our goal. We have this goal. And there's one thing that I was kind of creatively talking about with someone this morning when I said, you know what, I'm feeling a bit nervous about today's show. Haven't really prepped anything, haven't really got anything to give. Because I've had such a downward slope and an upward slope and like the waves. Remember we talked about the waves of motion? We have covered so much about mental health and how we got through this. And most of that, what got you through this? The friggin' bipolar weather. It has been up. We have had such a beautiful time. But we've been given 4 more weeks. What are you going to do with these next 4 weeks? You got a whole month. Remember those times. Take yourself back. Some of you, I know some of you, because I did this for trainees, that some of you have come out of school. And I remember saying to myself, like, oh, I just wish I could have that's just one more summer break. Just one more summer break. And we have been gifted with that summer break. And what did we do with it? Some amazing things. Like this journey that I've been on, and some of you have been on from the start. You know, Lisa, you've been there for me all the way through. And I've got to give you a shout out. You're such a lovely girl. You know, my team, you've really helped me through this. And this is the way I've communicated with you. It's like every Friday we'd have a meeting. This is our meeting. And I'm giving back. I'm giving you the strength to come back through this and become a fighter, to know that you're going to be okay. And I've given you all the techniques that I've learned to make sure that I'm okay. And if I can share those with you, that's what I've done now. I've got a serious haircut today to do to you today. Now, this is called the Starkey haircut. Now, I'm doing this in dedication to Darryl Starkey, who I've become such good friends with over this long journey. And I've seen him grow as a stylist within this matter of weeks. He's become just a force to be reckoned with. You know, he's entered competitions still. He's done giveaway lives. He's not been afraid to put himself out there in the fear. And with the greatest fears becomes the highest. You know, when you take the highest risks and the biggest fear, you get the biggest rewards. That's what I'm going to leave you with, that one. Now we're going to start cutting hair. You ready for a haircut today? Guys, this is one of those haircuts that if you ever had a client come in, you'd be like, where do I start? She wants this haircut. And I've done this haircut. I remember doing this haircut like years ago when I was really in my creative passion, when my clients would be accepted to whatever I wanted to do, and in my younger years. Now, as I've grown as a stylist, my haircuts have grown with me, and they've become a little bit mature, a bit more elegant, a little bit lovely, a little bit nice, just simple. And there is so many different ways of cutting hair, but I'm going to teach you one today. Now, I've shown you this haircut before, and it's been sat on my sofa for a little while, but this is like the Starkey haircut. And I mean, I'm going to use Starkey because it's Darryl Starkey's haircut that I kind of took through him on a 1-to-1 seminar just to see if my courage in cutting course would actually work online. And he cut this haircut. So you can see here, we've gone with the line. Yeah. This is a heavy line, and we've got the little floaty bevel. And then we've got the graduation, just slivers round, just gathers momentum. And it just over-directs, and just starts pulling in. And then it comes into this beautiful, elegant shape down here. And I could still work on this. And then we're going to kind of create this, but I'm going to do it the opposite direction. So whereas I've started on this side, I'm going to challenge myself to do it on the opposite side. So at the end of today, we're going to have 2 haircuts, but symmetrically different. Like a mirror image. Let's see how we get on. Let's see if I can actually put that skill. Because when we're working with left or right hands, we always have one better side. So let's see if this better side comes in. Let's bring in Manny. Here she is. And let's step her up a little bit so you can see her nicely. Everyone doing okay? Is everyone all right? Yeah? You got 4 weeks. till we get back to action, get back to our real civilization. But we've kind of got used to this, haven't we? And we're all kind of thinking, how our lives will change. How will life be after this? Will we still live in fear? Will we still have anxieties? I don't think so. I think we've got this. I mean, our biggest trouble was worrying about, whether a man went on a break with his family to protect his family. That was our biggest news. I mean, I'm glad I'm not in America. I'm glad I don't live in America, because that is going off over there. I've switched the news on a couple of times. I can't really get involved with the news, and I bet you're all feeling the same. It's like, we're dampened down with these things that people keep telling us, and actually they're not affecting us. Now, obviously some of you know that during this time I've had a bit of trauma. I lost my grandmother last week in Italy. And I didn't lose her to the COVID-19, which is, we had a beautiful end to a beautiful woman's story. And we managed to get, my sisters and my auntie over to Italy. They're still there now. And they managed to get a flight over there. Well, we pulled out a few stops with the old Italian consulate. And they said, yeah, right, we can get 3 of you over. So they did. And they're all over there now on the side of a mountain, looking down at the vineyards, looking up at the piazza, and just enjoying what my grandmother enjoyed for her whole lifetime. What do you envision in your lifetime? What are you going to do? Where are you going to be in your hometown forever? This world is such a big place. How much of you going to see? How many goals have changed since being there, being in lockdown, being in this situation, which is going to be written about for decades, and we're going to know this. This is like a war. It's like what grandparents, what you're going to tell your grandchildren. Remember that time where we had a good time, where it just felt so surreal to just like come out of the norm. All right, so how are we going to start this haircut? Now, obviously, I started that side on a line. Now, I'm going to talk to you about the principles of line, layer, and graduation, because that's the only 3 that you ever need to know. There are only 3 ways of cutting, and it's understanding the format of line, layer, and graduation. So we have a line, which is your heaviest point of cutting, which we're going to start that on this side into the jawline. We're going to start that. I'm going to use my mannequin over there as a guide and kind of go, right, that's where I want that to be. Then we're going to come into graduation. And the graduation is something that builds from shorter to longer. And it's a gradual build-up of length and weight. That's what it is, and it be cut on a 45. It can be cut on a 65, a 55. And it's graduation, just something that's shorter to longer. But a line is always a line. It's always a true line, and it's how you get that line to sit perfectly with the complete control. And then we'll have like a sloping triangular of graduation, but then we're going to pop a little bit of layer on. So I'm going to pick both heads up, I'm going to dry them down, and then we're going to challenge that haircut. I mean, this isn't a haircut I do in the salon that much, but when you have a chance to get creative and test your skill, you do that. And on these heads, that's where you can do that. Now, I sent you all out an email. Hopefully you've all looked at your email, seen your email. At the bottom of that email is a code to get doll's heads and training equipment. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm all set up properly. Yep, I'm set up there. So I'm going to go straight down. So remember what I taught you, guys. Remember to try and handle your scissor and your comb at the same time, but also how you section the hair down. So once we comb the hair through, make sure the hair is always combed from roots to ends, and then you grab the front of the comb here, and you grab your other finger, and then you look down at the head. Look down right at her nose. As long as she ain't got a wonky nose over the side of her face, you'll be all right. But a few of them. Got offset noses. And then you come down, and then you just draw this back. Remember, just one nice, clean swoop. And you lock in your position, and you'll be all right. And then we're going to come right down the back in one go. Then we're on the left side, and we're just going to move that away. Yeah, so just kind of start combing that away. And you should have a lovely centre parting. Now, I am going to worry about my sectioning on here, because sometimes The best haircuts that I've ever done are the ones that I just make up from the heart subconsciously. You know, it's like learning to drive. You've got your left, your right, your mirrors, your left and right, you know, your clutch, your brake, everything else. And then, you know, some people, they will only drive in an automatic. But I think you have to open your senses first to then be a Katana 5.5. You see there, it's got a roll point joint in there as well. So you haven't got that big lip that sticks out. It's all kind of concealed in there. Beautiful offset scissor, sharp as anything, and stayed sharp for this whole process, even cutting the doll's heads. Yeah. And then I've got my smaller scissor, which I'll show you afterwards, which I do all my refining with. This is the F10. Beautiful little scissor, tiny little thing. Now, I'm not into my big scissors. I kind of feel like I don't need to compensate. Do you know what I mean? I can't really say that because a lot of people like working with the big scissor. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to find that, you know, if I'm in the camera angle, I'm going to change it around a bit, so bear with me. And I've got Dan Thomas, my best friend and photographer, in my ear. Have we? Yeah, we're having connection problems. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. It's probably because you're in my house. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's find out what we've got going on. I think it's because you're on the let's have a look. Error. Is it all right now? YouTube is not receiving a video to maintain a stream as such viewers will experience. I think it's because I've got someone else on Wi-Fi in it. Yeah, I'm not really going to worry about that. Now and again the signal drops out, and it's just one of those things. It just happens. Let's hopefully it doesn't happen too much. All sorted, they say. All sorted. I'm going to just stick with you guys there. Better, Sarah, Benjamin. How are you, Benjamin, my friend? Snake Doctor, all good. Snake Doctor, I mean, that's a cool name, right? You want to know who Snake Doctor is? Well, Snake Doctor is one of my good friends that I've made really good friends. And do you know what? He sent me some lovely messages. His wife's a hairdresser, and he helped me set up my whole system and get it to work. And I've never really kind of like had to look back. He just kind of knew what he did. But, you know, it's never be scared to reach out to somebody. Like, the amount of humbleness that these people have has been absolutely gorgeous. You know, they're like, yeah, I'll help you, you know. And he took a whole day out of his life to help me set up this stream and get it onto YouTube. Then we've got my best friend, Dan Thomas, who's been with us every single Monday, guys. He's been with us every single Monday. He's dedicated to it, and it's been lovely to kind of have that thing to look forward to every single Monday. So what I'm doing here, guys, is I'm looking down the head shape. I'm going to make sure that she's straight. Yeah, she needs to be straight. There we go. Boo. Got a nice little suntan, didn't I? Got a bit of sun, didn't I? That's rare. Usually pale Dale because we work indoors every day. Right, gonna clean line, guys. Clean line. And then I'm gonna show you this, how I section this off. Now, decomplicating section patterns. You know, I'm not one of these guys that loves, like, you know, doing star shapes and, you know, kind of like 16 different patterns on the head before a haircut comes in, before you start the haircut. I feel if you've got to work that section pattern too much, you shouldn't be doing that haircut because it's not realistic. We're hairdressers. We're the people's hairdresser. Yeah? I mean, on a show, it's all fancy pants and stuff. That's fine. But let me get rid of some of this hair. Okay. I always have that fear when you cut off too much. You're like, did I cut it too short? Do you know when they come in for that kind of like redesign and you don't know whether you did it all right? When you start cutting off ponytails and you realise maybe I've gone a bit too short at the back. Okay, so I've got a line down there. Okay, so that's directly straight. It's really filtered straight. So we know when that hair falls over, it's all going to fall into that line. And we're going to cut a line in there. We're going to bring each section down and cut that line and over direct the front slightly back. So it slightly tilts down. So we get that lovely little kind of tilt at the front there. And then we can refine that afterwards, straighten that up. Then from there, we're going to use this point that we cut here and start our graduation into the side. But the beautiful thing is, and the stuff that I've learned, is then to change your sectioning pattern from a pivot pattern to like something that evolves. So you can have your line here. So we're going to go in here, we're going to cut there, and we're going to draw this weight down and keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that. And then when we get over to this side, we're going to start then turning the graduation out from a horizontal to from a vertical, boom, boom, vertical, that's definitely vertical, to a horizontal, to then create that more weight to fill in this side and come down on the ongulation. And then afterwards, this is where the magic happens. It's what do you put in first? Do you put in the line or the graduation? Well, all on the emphasis. Depends what you wanted it to be. Well, in this case, the line has to be cut afterwards because I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to come creatively to me. Hopefully, I'm going to win that one. Right, so what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to bring her right in. I'm going to make sure she's in the center of the screen for you. And you can, more or less see that. I'm going to pop her up a little bit higher for you. My hands are really slippy today. There we go. There we go. Say hi. Hiya. Stupid, isn't I? Right. How's my team doing anyway? How are you doing, Emma? How are you doing, Chloe? How are you doing, Jade? How are you doing, Stacy? How are you doing, Philippe? How are you doing, Steph? Steph's expecting a baby. So she'll be having a baby in Corona. She's going to have one of the Corona childs. There's going to be a whole generation that have been brought up by alcoholics. Do you know that? And homeschooled by alcoholics. Okay, so now we're going to see about that. So what we've done is taken a complete line all the way through there, just nice and straight. Now the idea and the principle of this is to get this scissor and to get it as straight as possible without kind of putting your arm tension in. So you need to kind of come in this way and do that. Now let me just do a little test. So I'm going to pull it down. I do everything with finger tension as well, finger tension or comb tension, depending on the different kind of levels of texture of the hair. So I'm going to have a look and see where this one ended up, and it was just about here. So I'm just going to get that between my fingers, guys, just so I can pop that line in first. Just make sure. I'm just going to do it a little bit lower, put a little bit of tension on, just to kind of see how that's going to sit and react. So do a test, basically a test run. Let's pop that up. So what I've done there is I've held it between my fingers, but I've held it under. So if you want it to flick it out and then cut, and that will flick the hair out because it will cut the top bit shorter and the underneath longer. Whereas if you go like this and you just then turn it under, you just turn it under a little bit, turn your scissor under, everything kind of filters and falls on top as it goes round. That's a big tip there, and that's something that I learned. So now I'm just going to have a look in here. See where I'm at. There we go, that's nice. And we're going to come underneath. I'm going to get my scissor this way, which is going to be the best way for you guys to kind of see this haircut. I think this way. I think this way. I think this way, yeah, definitely. I think you're going to see everything there beautifully. Let's try it. Let's try it. It's fascinating cutting hair on live to video. It's just something. Could you guys do it? Who's interested in maybe like testing this out? So now we're going to hold it there. We're going to come underneath. Oh, that's slipped over her ear then. So I'm going to balance out. Just gently cut that through. Just see if we can get that true line. Do you know what I'm finding? I find that quite difficult to cut around the ear. I find it very difficult. So let's get that in between my fingers. Let's get it as close to the head as we can. Just create that base. And find it very difficult to cut and just float around there. You can see, look, that shape's rubbish. So we're going to come underneath that. And just cut in there. Just put a little bit of tension. I mean, we're going to tidy this up afterwards. It's not a problem. Like, there. That's it. That's perfect. Right, ready. Next section. This is going to bore you to hell, guys. Like, we're just going to do this and repeat pattern. So, I'm going to worry about the refinement afterwards. Now, remember to keep the hair always wet, always in its wet state. This will make you a better hairdresser. Always keep your partings wet so they don't dry in. Don't oversaturate it. Now I've got that base, hopefully I can now follow it with my comb. And I use my comb as good tension because it kind of allows the hair to be hair. There we go, underneath it. In and cut. I can see that beautifully. There, look at that. I don't mind a little bevel of graduation in here. It may happen, but I can remove any unwanted graduation once I've dried it. I'm going to keep working up. This is where the exciting thing comes in though. It's like, this is just the base of where everything comes from. If you get this bit right, the rest of your haircut's going to be right. If you mess up the first bit, sometimes that's when it all goes wrong. Yeah, it's unrescuable. Okay, so back in. Hold that down, like get that good comb direction, making sure that all the hair, all the way through is combed. And as you bring more hair onto each layer, okay, so underneath, look how nice these scissors cut through the hair. I mean, that is gorgeous. Just gonna get rid of these little bits underneath. Now, I've made some really, really good friends. Really good friends over this time. You know, really kind of opened up the doors to socializing in a different way and connecting with people. You know, different hairdressers that just kind of like come out of nowhere that you've just found because they've been given the time to kind of like put their work out there. There's been a lot of changes within, you know, how people or where people want to work or not work. We had a lot of that going on. You know, they're kind of going, do you know what? There's something better out there for me. And I've seen it. Just little snips on there. I tend to kind of like get my lines as good as I can. Okay? Knowing that hair is a wild animal, anyway, you know, it's always unpredictable. Hairlines are unpredictable. So, you know, I'm seeing a lot of precision work out there. And I do love precision work. Absolutely love precision work. But sometimes it's unrealistic. And, you know, it's just a little bit unrealistic. It doesn't look realistic. And, you know, when you see these like really perfect haircuts, and they're dried to an inch of their life, are smooth and perfect. How often do you think that client's going to look like that? Do you know what I mean? How often do you think your client is going to look that precise? But if you work on getting that precision, even if she does 50% of that job that you did, she's going to look 100 times better with a good haircut. So that's the importance of, you know, nice haircuts and precision work. It works really well. So when I'm cutting this line, guys, every single bit of that hair will fold over on top of each other, because if you think as the hair dries, it expands, and when it expands, it kind of adds a bit of volume, and when it's in its wet state, it sits a lot flatter. It's not really that true. So I cut a section, then I cut another section, but it's always just that little bit longer. I mean, fractionally, it's longer. And then I'll cut the other section, again, the same. So I'm like kind of building steps, but downwards. And then when the hair like pops itself up, sometimes there's a little bit of graduation to get rid of underneath, because that hair hasn't got so far to travel or get higher or lighter. So I tend to kind of put every single hair on to sit on top to create that bevel that tucks it under. That's a true line. That's what I think, you know, a line shouldn't be just cut on a line unless you want it really stepped out. But even so, then it's like, it's very difficult. When you see these like really, really wide bobs, you know, like you've seen them there, like the wide bobs that just stick out beautifully like that. And it's just so precisionally cut like that. But actually, they're cut like that. So when they do dry, they dry like that. Good tip, that. Okay, so now I'm into the front section, which I have a little bit less control over because we're kind of like falling onto the face. So I'm going to pull this down, but I'm going to be very, very cautious that I'm not going to kind of arch it up. So let's have a look. Let's see where we're at. Let's pull that in. Let's pull that underneath. Now this is going to fall lighter because there's not so much hair underneath. Let's do that. Boom. What music you got on, guys? What music you got in the background? I want you to listen to some music because, you know, when you choose to learn and you make that dedication, don't learn in silence. Learn with emotion. And the biggest emotion I get is from music. I can really, you know, why do we do that? Why do we listen to certain tracks, certain songs? Like, you know, sometimes we listen to a sad song when we're sad. Why? Why do you do that? You know? It works exactly the opposite way as well, though. So, you know, when you listen to a happy song, when you're in a happy mood, it kind of enhances that happiness. It's almost, sometimes we want to invite the pain. We want to invite the suffering to kind of feel it, to get it out of the way. So that's why we do that, I think. You know, that's why some of the biggest love songs are made. There we go. So that's just coming in there. Because I'm over directing the front, I'm going to get a tilt. Last section, guys, on the front bit here. Pull this in. Now again, I'm doing it from the center, but I am going to layer these, so it doesn't really matter where the parting is. So right here, I've got to be very careful the kind of direction that's going to grow down, where it's going to sit. So, you know, I'm trying to just kind of get it right in the right place. See where that goes. All your hair should turn under. It should never flick out at this point. So this one I'm going to cut a tiny bit longer. Ever so. And see what that does. Pull this bit in. Pull it back. Get that little sharp shape at the front. Make sure it's nice and clean. Hold the last bit between my fingers with not too much tension. But make sure I direct it back. You see I'm pulling that back. I'm just making this up, guys. I've done it once, this haircut. I've done it once, and I kind of just wanted to see what this haircut does. So that bit's finished. That's it. That'll be a lovely little line afterwards. Obviously, there's a few little kind of bits that I'm going to dry in, but you can see that lovely little flow. So as that comes to the front and she falls in her face, now it's not a haircut that you can kind of go out and drive, they won't be able to see that, but you've got the straight line and then you've got this arch, but once that's dried, that will filter out and give it that lovely little point, little kiss on the lip. I love that shape. Now I'm going to work into this. Now I'm going to use my first ever 2 sections here. I'm going to get this all out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to make this section pattern up as I go along, so I can kind of talk it through with you. So what I'm thinking here is that this is a big animal here. There's a lot of hair to use. There's a lot of hair to kind of consume or get in there, and we want to use this point here of our graduation that comes down. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to help myself out a little bit here. I'm going to take out, let's say, the top radial. I'm going to take that out. I've just used the sectioning clip to get rid of that. You know, that's like a lot of people will say, oh no, you have to section with a comb, whatever. But, you know, using a point or something, it's quite easy to just kind of put your clip in and just draw that hair down. So then you get a nice little straight line. And then you can go in with your comb and just tighten out those tiny little bits. You get a bit more control with a comb, because I think it's the angle that you're coming in with and how you hold your comb. There we go. That's looking lovely and straight. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to cut all this at a 45-degree graduation on diagonal backward sections. I'm just going to move that out of the way for you. Just put that hair out of the way. Okay, so now I'm going to approach this. How am I going to approach this? I'm going to look at this haircut. I'm going to cut all this off. We don't need all this. So this has definitely got to go. That's coming off. Get it out of the way. That's gone. So now I need a couple more clips. Love these clips. Little pack of silver ones. No more fighting over clips in the salon, guys. Just buy these, you can throw them away, disposable in some sort of way. Great for haircuts. Right, so now we're into this. Is Daryl on the line? How are you, Daryl? Looking forward to courage and cutting, ain't we, guys? So this is going to be my last one. I feel quite emotional, actually, that this is my last one. But that might be my state of mind. I'm in quite an emotional state of mind at the minute. As you can probably hear, you know. But you have to make, the show must go on, guys. You know, life doesn't wait for you. It doesn't wait for you. You've got to keep going. Okay, so now I want to tilt her away a little bit. Tilt her over. So you're going to tilt your client's head slightly over so you can get up and underneath into that haircut. And we're going to cut each one. So now I'm going to pull out this side section, just this side section. Remember when we were cutting the short haircut, I think it was last time we did short hair. It's a similar or exactly the same section in pattern. And what you'll realize is the more haircuts you do, how similar the cutting techniques become. And it's that light bulb moment that you are all looking for when you go, I got that. I know what I'm doing. And then you're in an abundance of creativity, because once you know what you're doing, you can really challenge any hair type, any hair type, any hair thickness, any kind of curl, and you know how to cut it and manipulate it. So here we go, right. Here's my connecting point. Now I'm going to elevate this, because this is going to go straight into graduation. You see that line there? I'm just going to nip that off. And that's going to create my little bevel of graduation within that line that I've done. So I'm just going to pull this out here. Find that line. I'm going to nip into that line. Just here, look, watch. See it there? There's my connecting point underneath. So let's pull that down. About there would be nice. Pull that directly out. I'm going with the shape of the head as the guide. And we'll do another one. I'm going to try not to get in front of the camera, so I'm going to duck my knees. You see that? There we go. Look at that. So that's now, give me that bend and that slope. I'm going to build another small section, just symmetrical to that one. Pull that out. Comb this away. You're going to learn some real, true skill here, guys. I remember doing the Great British Hairdresser show. Now I'm going to elevate this section a little bit higher than the last one. So I'm going to start with my comb intention to come up. And then pull down. So my last comb will be pulled down to the previous section. And just cut very tight on there. So comb up, get your lift, get your elevation. Pull in tight. Cut that off. Pull in tight. Elevate. Pull in tight. Yeah, so when I was on the Great British Hairdresser doing that TV show, one of my first ever TV experiences, you know, where I queued up 2,000 people and hoped for a place in this competition that I knew nothing about. But with this competition became the start and the making of me. You know, it was like, I liked the adrenaline. I liked to challenge myself. I liked to put myself forward and say, yes, I'm a yes guy. I'm a yes guy. And then I'll go and learn it. So, you know, it's one of the biggest skill sets that I've ever learned is say yes, go away, and then learn it. Do you know what I mean? Don't say no straight away because you might miss an opportunity. Say yes. Say, okay, yes, I'll do that wedding hair. Yes, I'll do that. And then go away and learn it. And you don't have to learn everything. You just need to know what you need to know on the day. Okay, so here we go. We've got a bit of that front in there. Let's pull that out. See what this does. Ready? Look, there's my line again. Straight on that line. Like, really make sure that you take lovely small sections and you can always see your line. Let me get that a bit closer for you. See if I can work that a bit closer. There we go. Making sure that all that hair's in there. I find hairdressing a great therapy. You know, it's our art, it's our skill. I love it. You know, you can just kind of like empty your mind. It's like exercise. I've been exercising. I've been determined to get a COVID six-pack. Has anybody else been working on their fitness? I'm going to spin her around a little bit, so now I'm working into it. So I'm going to actually move with this model and not stay straight with her. I'm just going to move around with her. So so I'm traveling with my sections. So I'm not just staying stationary. Yeah, has anybody kind of been keeping fit? Or kind of, I know my girl, Emma Holmes, sorry if I didn't mention some of you guys there. But yeah, my girl, Emma Holmes, is determined that she's going to come out of this stronger. Right, let's get you in there. I'm going to, I'm in such a weird position because this is a lot higher. But let's see if I can challenge this. Because it's all the same. Sometimes you get a tall client in. You up and down, lower the chair, don't you? Okay, so there we go. All right, let's pull that in. Pull the other one in. Look at that. I mean, I hope you're concentrating. Some of you, I know, like to kind of give it a go as I'm doing it, which is lovely. I love that. So you'll realize how difficult this haircut actually is. It's actually a very, very difficult haircut to kind of pull off. Now I need to release the hair from that side a little bit because I'm getting into that. I'm just going to cut a bit of that off. There we go, that's off. So I can still keep with my diagonal section sloping through now. Let's get that, move that right away. That's made my life a lot easier. I'm taking my time here, guys, because I don't want to fuck this one up. This is my grand finale. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he did a really shit haircut on his last one. I doubt if I will. So I need to make sure that I'm moving properly with this haircut. Otherwise, I'll start over-directing. If I don't start moving or in the circular with this haircut, I'm going to over-direct too much to the previous. So I need to make sure that maybe I turn her away. Because then now, I'm working around. And, when you're working with triangular shapes and anything like that, there are points of the haircut which you should be standing at or not standing at. With a circular haircut, let's say more of a rounded, you should flow in a round kind of pattern with your footwork. I mean, I used to be a boxer when I was younger, and footwork was the main thing. So I kind of have a few little skills that I do with my body to kind of put me in the right position. So look at the elevation on that. And then cut in there, and that's just each hair is gonna sit on top of each other beautifully. There we go. I'm just gonna stay nice and calm. I learnt a new breathing technique. You can try this at home, but I would perhaps only try it when you're in the shower. I'm gonna tell you about it now. So it's called Hellfire breathing technique. Hellfire breathing technique. And we're so used to breathing, it's unreal, right? So now I'm going to change her. So when we change our breathing pattern, it really confuses our mind, and it can explode you into enormous energy. That even just kind of breathing slower can calm you down. But I found one which will kind of get you more excited. It's a very, very messy one, to say the least. So when I say messy, is you breathe through your nose. Okay, now you're all going to try this. Obviously, if you're in the privacy of your own home, you're going to have a bit of fun with this. You ready? I'm not going to do it, though, because I don't want loads of stock coming out. Everything's just going to come out, so you're going to want a tissue or a sleeve or something like that. So you deep breath, and you lift up, you go... You ready? So you go, and then blow out your nose. blow out your nose. You're going to have all sorts coming out of there. All sorts coming out of there. But what it does to your physical being is incredible, because we're not used to doing that. So it changes everything. Your brain kicks into gear, like, what's going on? I've got different levels of oxygen coming in and out. And then you wake up. I mean, it wakes you up and you got a little bit dizzy. So pull in and then straight through the nose. Push down. And then you're like, once that's clear, and then you do like 3 sets of that and you feel amazing. All these little things I've had to kind of like develop because of my own kind of like mental health. Anybody that knows me knows I'm mental in a nice way, in a kind way. You know, if I wanted to, you know, if someone said, describe yourself, I'm very generous. I'm very giving. I'm very giving. You know, I think, you know, what you put out, you will get back. I think, and this is written about in many, many books. Your transmission to the world, what you put out. So if you're an unhappy, miserable state, well, that's all you're going to get. Is you're always going to consistently be unhappy and in a miserable state. It doesn't matter how rich you are or how much, you know, what you've got going on. If you're miserable, you're not having a good life. I really, really believe that you should have the best life. You're given one shot at this, guys. And if I can ask you to do something, just be kind. Just be really kind. And grateful. Be really grateful. So I've started this kind of gratitude kind of programming of my brain, where I'm just always grateful, and I remind myself of the things that I'm grateful for, not the things that I'm ungrateful for. Do you know what I mean? Like, why remind myself of why I'm ungrateful for this? Why am I ungrateful for that? Why did that happen to me? I focus on gratitude. If you focus more on your gratitude, so think now to yourself, guys, what 3 things, and really, you'll know them straight away, what 3 things around you or if that happened to you right now that you are grateful for? What are you grateful for? And then you say it out loud. I am grateful to the universe. I know it sounds mad, but whether you live in a spiritual being, you're kind of spiritual, you're religious, you know, religion has been around for decades and decades. And what do? We pray. Why do we pray? We pray for something stronger and to be gratitude, you know, grateful. And it's always like, thank you. Like, I grew up as a religious person. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, believe it or not. My stepfather was a Jehovah's Witness. He came over from Italy, and it was a massive religion over there. And they've got some really... Yeah. So, are we seeing that there? Ready? So yeah, I grew up in a religious kind of like way, you know, believing in a higher being, and you know, and there is the good book and the good place, and there's a lot of lessons from religion. And without religion, there would be a lot more chaos, because you know it chose from good to bad. You know, you feared something greater than you. So when I'm being grateful, I always now say, you know, I'm grateful to the universe. I'm unconditionally grateful to the universe for my amazing positivity. And then you almost kind of like programming yourself into having amazing positivity. And it's only a word. As long as you understand what you mean by that, you'll get a sense of the emotion attached to positivity and what it means. So, right, I'm literally free-flowing into this section. Let's just get that out of the way. Free-flowing now. Keep that out of the way. So, look, I've really... Oh, got a little nick there. We all make mistakes, don't we? Anybody that doesn't is full of shit. Absolutely full of shit. Any hairdresser that thinks they don't make mistakes is full of crap. Because some of them, you only learn from your mistakes. Don't be afraid of your mistakes, you learn from them. I'm grateful for my mistakes sometimes. Try not to make them twice though. So spin that around, because I'm over here now. I'm going to start working from the back. So I'm going to continue now with my journey. Okay, because we're going to suddenly start changing shape in a minute. Right. Sorry about my angles, guys, if they're a little bit too high. I just want to get a good shot in that camera for you. It's very weird kind of having, this is like your client standing up in front of you and you're trying to do a haircut. I mean, she's only 5 foot tall, but you're standing up doing a haircut. Okay, so here. Just watch the flow. Picture what's going to happen. I want you to kind of picture like what's going to happen to that haircut as he's doing it. And you've got all this length down the bottom. You're kind of wondering what's going to happen with that. There's something good going to happen with that. Now I'm just going to do a little cross check. Just make sure I've just got it in the opposite direction. So cross checking is cutting something in the opposite direction as if you're using the cross. So once it's cut that direction, find your true line on the opposite direction and cut that. There's nothing to come off of that. I'm really excited about this haircut. It's going to come out lovely. Now we're into the opposite side. We're going to continue the process here and release that out. What I want to do now though is obviously not kind of like get all that top in there. So I'm just going to section that out, section that away, just like that. Pull that out. Just get that. So I'm just going to come through actually with that point in my comb. I'm just going to draw a line, get a nice clean section, nice clean breakaway. Let's have a look at that. It's beautiful. That worked out a treat. I can then introduce that so it looks really nice on top. What's your favorite track, guys? What's your favorite salon track? I want you to compile a salon track that's going to keep you amazingly positive, and the songs that you've learned to love over COVID-19. And some of those, will just light you up and give you that positive feel. My kind of go-to song for a positive feel is Over the Rainbow. I think my staff know that, and just kind of get you all in there. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to sing it to you. You're not interested in me singing. You're interested in me cutting hair, Dan. I send wild videos to people, stupidly. I say wild. Yeah, some of them are a bit wild. Where I'll sing to the camera and just hopefully someone catches that experience at the other end and they kind of go, you just made me smile, thank you. Right, so here, we've been taking our sections like this. Now, as I get to here, I'm going to start changing it into a bob. So I'm going to start doing this and pivot around. And you're going to see the difference that's made. Hopefully, that's where this section takes me. It's almost like the hair wants to take me somewhere. It's a feeling. It's a subconscious feeling that I get. The haircut wants to take me into this direction. And you'll get a natural feel, a natural flow, a natural kind of feel for how that's supposed to be. So because we're at the top here, look, I'm almost like over directing that quite far down. Realistically, maybe I should be up here, but I'm actually kind of feeling that that's where that should be. Find my guide underneath, just get a feel for it. I want you to challenge this haircut. Now, on my courage and cutting course that I'm going to be doing, I think we've got 4 spaces left on our courage and cutting course if you did want to get involved. You can kind of like do it over a few months as well. You can pay me over 12 months if you want. It's not about the money, guys. It's about the experience. Obviously, you've got to invest in your doll's heads as well. So I do know it's a little bit expensive for you. But man, it's going to be worth everything. I'm going to put every ounce of energy I have got into every single seminar. I'm also going to kind of communicate with you before. I'm going to have like a little one-to-one with you. I'm very excited about whether I can pull off this online training seminar. Now, here, I'm going to start turning my sections out. Yeah, so I'm going to start turning them out. So they're now going to start going like this. That's what I'm going to do here. By memory, that's what I think me and Daryl did. By memory. I do believe that. Okay, so I'm going to come to the back of the haircut. Take a piece out. Control that hair. Look how I'm holding that comb as well. Remember holding that comb very gently. So let's pull that hair down. Cut there. Direct back. I'm standing in the totally wrong positions for this haircut. to try and get it on camera. Okay. I'm not too worried about how this is going to be around the bottom because I'm going to cut that line off. I'm going to cut that off there. Is Danny Rico online? Is my friend from Body Fixers, is he on in the group chat? He said he was going to join in today. He said he was going to join in. Is he there, Daniel? Danny, make yourself known if you're here. It's like I'm trying to write, you know, trying to do a spiritual thing, a seance. Daniel, if you're there, make a noise. Have you ever done one of them? They don't. Here's my recommendation. Freak you out for weeks. Like, who wants to speak to someone that's dead? Well, I don't know. Maybe you do. Who would that conversation be with? I don't know. Maybe you would want to speak to someone that's dead, but it freaked me out. I mean, I'll be freaking out. I'm not the best at, like, you know, I can get into my own imagination quite wildly. You know, so, okay, here we go. This is it now. All right, let's have a look. See, I just got to check my stance. Pull this out. Oh, look at that line. It's there. It's still holding. I'm still holding that line. Look, directing. You notice that, like, everything's getting directed back to the back of the head now. Everything's coming back. Just make sure it is. Yeah. So this side I'm pulling back like a normal graduated bob. It's quite a nice journey. That's why you can tell why I wanted to get into this haircut straight away, because I knew the timing on this haircut is quite a long experience, but it's a bloody challenge. I might as well challenge myself. I wasn't going to do today because of all the upset and drama. I wasn't myself, you know. Obviously with my grandmother passing, I was kind of like, fuck life, fuck this. And I was just like, no, Daniel, get up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. And I really had to do that. And I ghosted people. Like, I wasn't talking to anybody. You know, people were ringing me up, how are you and stuff, and I'd ghost them. You know, you just haven't got the energy to go over the same shit again and again and repeat it. You're almost like you have to kind of like just go into yourself, let it take you. Something like grieving, you've got to let it take you sometimes, you know, and you're going to ride that a wave. And then, you know, you're going to go through the emotions of the why, the anger, and all of these things, you know, and then you're going to go into sadness. And then, you know, you allow yourself to become nice again and be happy. Look at that. Let's have a look at that. Just going to cross-check this, just because I can see a little turn in it somewhere. Or, like, millimeter will change the direction of how this turns. There it is. Like, I can see it just there, just where I just made a small error. I still got all that top to cut as well. I still got to bring that in. So if this isn't perfect now, when I start bringing that top in, and I always comb the hair gently. Look at that, look, gently. You're going to learn a lot of this again in Courage and Cutting, guys, those that have booked on. Can I call it my CC course? It's grade CC. Grade CC. If this goes well, I'm going to do my triple X. It was all about disconnections, you know, freehand. That's my triple X course. It's called Break the Rules. You know, undercuts, over directions, all sorts of fancy stuff that I love. I do love to challenge myself. Okay. So directing, I'm still pulling this back, but I am still rounding my graduation, so I'm not directly back. So are you guys talking to each other on the chat? Talk dirty to me. Talk dirty to me. Talk dirty hair. I missed everything that Dan just whispered in my ear gently. Was it dirty, Dan? Was that dirty? There you go, I can hear you better now. Do I keep standing in front of that camera? I'm sorry. I thought, oh, because I've swapped sides. Because I'm on the opposite side now. Are you right with this angle? There, we'll go with that one. Now, so we've got so Dan's just whispered in my ear that one of you have asked about you can't make it to the Courage in Cutting course, and then can you buy the video afterwards? I'm afraid I'm going to have to make the choice to say no, because I don't think it's the right way to teach. I think I need to be here. I need to see you on all my screens, and I need to see you working live. And plus, we're going to be interacting with the people that are on board, which will probably do your head in, because you'll be like, okay, can you get back to the haircut? Because it's not like it'll be cut a bit, you cut a bit, and you'll be working live with me, and we'll all do the same haircut. We're going to have all 20 of you, just going live. Now, some of you guys I'm not interacting with, because some of you on my team, but some of you that have paid to come on the course, I'm going to focus. You've dedicated yourself. You're going to be doing that. Also, I'm going to be working on my younger team a lot more, and it's about the interaction that I'm going to give with this course. It has to be, I think. Do you disagree or agree? I can't just put a video out. Do you know what I mean? It's not the same. I don't think it's the same. But I will do another opportunity for you guys, and then one day you'll be able to come and do a workshop with me. I'm quite bossy when I teach, but I do it in such a fun atmosphere that, it's like you need to, this is how we learn. Look at this. You got to learn, you got to enjoy your learning process. So we're now coming into the front. See, I'm going to take diagonal sections like this now, because I want to kind of put the weight down into the bottom of the haircut a little bit more, and not have the graduation so beveled or so high within the haircut. So you can see, like, now we're starting to kind of like get into the graduation and our line. Pulling that out. Look at the shape of my elbow up here, because she's standing tall. I don't mind. And then we're going to come lower. Now, look, see, lower. So we keep our base, and we line it up. Look, lower. So we'll cut that base in there. Keep our corner there. All that's going to get cut off afterwards. Not a massive amount. You shouldn't have too much excess. Look at that. Look at that angle just sharpening in there. Look. Pull this back. Work into, like, maybe I'm stood now at probably about 7:30 to the haircut. Then I step in, come lower, and because I've taken my vertical sections into a horizontal, it's more diagonal forward now. Look, see here I'm coming quite low, because I know I'm working around the ear, so I'm coming quite low. I don't mind if there's a bit of graduation on there at all, so it's still elevated out. And here, still elevated out, because I'm going to put the line in afterwards. And it's nice when the graduation catches right to the bottom point. You got to be careful at the front. If in doubt, you kind of leave those bits out. If in doubt, leave it out. That's a big tip. If you've got like anything that's kind of not sitting right around the sides, around the backs of the ear, at the temple, just if you're in doubt, just leave it out. Just don't try and do it too early. Like, wait until the hair's in its dry state. Make sure you inform your guest that that's what you're going to do, because she's not going to kind of sit there for the whole haircut going, has he missed a bit? Because they do. They make up their own stories in their own heads. You see, that's really, like, let's see if that sits straight. When you put the comb through and it doesn't sit straight, that's always a bugger. So comb, roots to ends, roots to ends. Yeah, it looks lovely. It's perfect. It's perfect. Perfect, Dan. Believe in yourself, Daniel. Believe in yourself. I can't believe I'm actually here today after everything I've gone through. I got up. Amazing. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if it weren't for the guys in your support. Especially you, Daryl and Lisa. You two have been right Trojans. You've been to every single one, and my team. My team maybe thought it was part of their job, but they had a choice. They didn't have to do it. They didn't have to turn up every day and watch this clown cut hair and Ben Knotts. I'm going to call you Ben because you're from Nottingham. And Neil. I know some of you haven't been able to. And Tom. You've all been good friends of mine. We're going to be friends forever. Welcome to the circle. Okay, so I think we'll all have a little catch-up afterwards, as this is the last one. In my hair talks section. And tonight, guys, got a right treat for you. I'm on next week. It is like, has anybody ever watched Patrick Cameron working? If there's anybody that has learned the true art of presentation and his skill set, he's a hair-up artist. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, I'm going to start integrating this top section. So I'm going to start on this side, okay, and then follow it all the way around again. So I'm just going to pull that hair into it. Let's pull it into its natural flow. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think that looks all right. So I'm going to then pull the front in as well, so I know where I'm going with that. These have really heavy crowns. So let's retake that section. Have a look, see what falls out there. Oh, the head's not straight. So always check your head, always kind of like do that double check. Is the head straight? Is this done? Is this done? All right, let's pull that in there. Let's have a look at that. Let's just check that line. Just make sure that's sitting nice. Yeah, sitting good. Okay. So let's. Oh, did I stop? See, Dan's in my ears, keeping a close eye on me because I get sidetracked. Does anybody else go into Hannah's world? I always go into Hannah's world. I always just fly off. Like, what was I talking about? Yeah, you went off piece there, Dan. You went off piece there. But that's me. It's my makeup. It's what I do. But Patrick Cameron, the hair show tonight, 7 o'clock on the How to Cut It community. Bam. Watched last week's and I was like, I'm impressed. The amount of effort and work that goes into that show for you is incredible. It's incredible. Okay, so here we go, guys. This is the point of no return. Okay, so we're up here. I'll pull this out. We're going to find that line. Now, I'm cutting into the old graduation on this side. So I'm going to remove a lot more of that front as much as possible. I'm going to pull this down a little bit heavier. Look underneath there. I've got a little bit of that graduation from the front line. That's going to pop a bevel. That's just going to start beveling and graduate the two. Look at that boom, there. What we're going to do is then just try and keep them sections and just see what happens to them. Try and keep those sections playful, see what they want to do. Pull the weight down now. I think it's more about pulling the weight down. I'm really kind of like, guys, I'm just making this up. I'm guessing. I promise you now, I'm just guessing at this and hoping for the best. But I almost have that understanding of hair anyway. I understand it. I kind of studied it. I understood what it does, why it reacts the way it does. 24,000 haircuts deep, you tend to get good at your job. And I love teaching and love learning. So here we go. So you can see that I'm pulling this weight down now. I'm pulling it down. I'm not up here. I'm pulling it down, but I still don't want it too heavy. So it's about the elevation. So if you go there, it's more layer. Here, graduation. Here, really pulling it down to just a soft bevel. So let's go there. Look there. Boom. Capturing a bit of that front. I will come back into the front shape and work that off. Move over. Find your line. Cut that. Another section out. So we're really learning that every single haircut that you'll ever do in your life, probably on this one mannequin. On this one mannequin head. This is like every technique rolled into one. I'm just going to roll that down at the front. Roll that here. Just angle it down a little bit so it's not too heavy. Walk through to the back there. Let's have a look at that. Let's see what's happening to that haircut. Oh, look at that. Look, it's really, really coming alive. Come on, Dan. You got this, bruv. There, that's what I wanted. It's all in there. It's all in there. I'm gonna pop the front in. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm gonna continue. I got too excited there. I got too overwhelmed. All right, let's go right down. I think it's the music that he's playing in my ear. It's getting me all kind of excited and hyped up. I wish you could hear my music, but we're not allowed to play it on YouTube rights. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Like, so I'm pulling out bevel. You see that? Bam. In. Pull it down over to you guys. Pulling it in the direction you want it to flow. Only cutting between my fingers and my knuckle. It's the only place I'm going to cut. If it takes more sections, it takes more sections. Let me turn that around so I'm not blocking the camera. Here we go. You're going to love how this is blow dried afterwards as well. Just going to do a little cross check, make sure I'm on the right side of things. Look at that. Boom. Needs a little bit off there. Let's have a look. Ooh. There we go. Right, now, where am I? Where am I? I'm at the top here still. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. When you start coming around to this side, you're like, it's home run, it's free. Let's hope it's all turned out really, really well. Almost like you're crossing your fingers, your toes. Let's hope she likes this haircut. Taking a lot of precision, a lot of time on this. This is definitely a Emma Holmes haircut. She loves this sort of work. She's my girl. You know, Emma's worked for me for like, I'd say 8 years now, and would never look back. We've never looked back as a pair of people, and that is worth its weight in gold. I've had people come and go throughout my whole career, but Emma has stood by my side, along with Philippe, and along with Chloe Hunter, who is one of the most nicest angels you'll ever meet in your life. She deserves everything good. She's everything that I describe in a kind person. So kind. Right, I need to angle that. Right, angle that. I've got my trainees. I've got some really good trainees coming out, guys. I've got Ellie, who's just about to qualify, who I kind of made this course for. She's a bloody genius. And we've got Summer. We've got Eleanor. We've got Evie. These are gonna be, I tell you, you're gonna hear all about these people. They're gonna come at you guys. They're chasing you to the top. I tell you. There's one thing I give, I've got some new members of my team joining after COVID. I don't think anybody's made any employment decisions, but I have. I've got a couple of new people coming to the team that I think are going to be absolute attributes. Oh, look, I've got a bit something there not right. Something's not right there, guys. And what it is, let's figure that out. Let's go back in this way. There it is. Look, I didn't curve that round with it. It looked a bit rubbish. Okay, let's pull this back now. Hopefully that line's, yeah, see, there's that line. Sometimes, if you get it in your hands, it doesn't feel right. Usually isn't right. Okay, so now I'm into this side. I'm going to start building my sections again the same way as I did previously in the previous haircut underneath. So I'm going to just comb all that out of the way and watch this evolve. We're coming towards the end of the haircut. We're going to go into blow dry time. Okay, where are we here? All right, let's get a natural fall on there. There we go. So pulling that weight down. If I've got any heaviness afterwards with like a little bit overhang, I'll get rid of that afterwards. It's no problem. I'll show you how to get rid of that as well. It's one thing that Daryl didn't learn. It was how to refine the graduation and get it in between your fingers. All right, let's go there. So Daryl, this is we'll smash that one out. I've got way too much hair on there. Way too much hair on there. Like, if you get too much hair, you're going to go wrong. Thin your sections out so you can really see them. Is this okay for you guys? Am I kind of doing a good description here? Give me the thumbs up. Give me a like. Give me a share. Guys, give me a like. Like that button. Like that button. Like that button. Light that button up. It really helps me with like boosting this to get this out there. I'm going to still do videos, I think, guys, because I quite enjoy this learning process, and I kind of get into my little man cave that I've built here, and it takes me away from reality just for that little bit to do something that I love, that I'm really passionate about. You know, I don't find this is not work for me. This is not work. This is just a way of life for me, you know. So I, believe it or not, I had a gentleman, and actually a female as well, from Colombia, message me to say thank you. And do you know what? Actually, all of you have messaged me. It doesn't matter whether you're in Colombia or you're up the road. You've messaged me and thanked me, and that lit me up. Like when I get your messages, guys, I don't ignore them. I really ponder on them. You know, as you do with a negative message, you'll ponder on a negativity, wouldn't you? But I sit there and go, thank you. You know, I'm really grateful for those messages. And I got one from Colombia that I popped up there. You know, they can't. You know, they said obviously they can't travel to me and they can't afford me, or whatever they said. I can't remember what they said. I can't afford training where they're from, and I've really helped them out through their time in Colombia. I'm like, how cool is that? How cool is that? So when I started COVID-19, my story of COVID-19 started out with a lot of energy. I started out with using that fear to take control, step back, I've got this, to make sure all my team knew I was in control and they had nothing to fear. As a true leader would, I'm going to make sure you're okay. You know, you imagine yourself going into battle. Yeah, you're going into battle and you're like, who am I going to go into battle with? You go into battle with me. I'll look after you. I'll become stronger. I'll be what you need to be. I will be the smart one. I'll be the forward thinker. I'll pull you all together and bring your best attributes out so you don't worry about nothing, and we'll go at this with everything we've got. And we're just making it up, but damn, did I do a good job. You know, and then I thought, do you know what? If I'm doing this, I'm going to help somebody. I prepared everything, and I knew with my team that I had behind me, I had Grace Waker. You know, she just nails it. She's a young girl. She's my PA. She's a beautiful young girl as well. She's strong-minded, absolutely strong-minded. You know, I think she's only about 18, 19. She's become Daniel Granger's PA. You know, but she's nailing it every single time. And do you know what? We fall out. We have a little fallout, and she tests me. And I love it. It's like a brother-sister relationship. And it's beautiful. But now we're going back into the rescue plan. And we're making it up as we go along, guys. Like I'm making this haircut up. We're just making it up. We don't know what's around the corner, but all I can say is that I will do my utmost and my best to protect all of you. So Dan has brought something up here. Now, before I started the lockdown, I did lots of little videos of prepping to close down your business. Now I'm going to do one that's relaunching your career, launching the new you, relaunching the new salon, the new feel. And I think with more information and a realistic build-up of a picture and a diagram of what that looks like, I would like to do some videos for you on what we're going to do, because I do not give a crap about anybody else, like what they're doing and what they're suggesting and the things they've put up. And I'm going to do what's best for me and my team and my followers. Yeah, they're the people I'm looking after. If you're in my circle, I'm going to give you everything for free. So I'm going to do some free videos of what I'm going to do for you salon owners that are probably watching, you younger team that you're watching. You know, this is how we do it. And you'll grab something there that's going to work for you. Now, everybody keeps asking me for advice. What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, I have one of the biggest salons in the Midlands. I have 2 salons on top of each other. I'm very, very grateful for that, because we can go back to work and just feel free. we can feel like, you know, we've really just got the space that we need and stuff. And some of you haven't, you know, so I don't know how you're going to work that. But I can give you the advice on what you think you should be doing, you know. And you know what, guys? Kids went back to school today, didn't they? Some kids went back to school today. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Maybe we're taking this too seriously and it's actually going to be all right. But we do need to protect ourselves. But I'm going to do my theory of what's going to happen. I would like to do that. Now, right, let's have a little look at this. I'll walk around this haircut now. Let's finish the last pieces. Okay, I'm well off piece there, aren't I? All right, let's pull that down. Let's see if that kind of sits anything over there. Let's see if there's any loose hair. No loose hair. Ready? There we go. Watch this. Now, I'm just kind of like playing around with the natural fall of the haircut. So I know what it's going to look like when I dry it. So I'm pushing all those like top sections, those last few bits, naturally. Drop my comb. Do you ever always wash your comb after you drop it on the floor? Right. Before I get to that bit, I'm just going to do this bit. Just keep working around, just kind of get a natural flow. Where that crown go? Where you going? Where you going, crown? Where you going? Don't worry about it too much. You can get rid of some of these pieces afterwards. Beautiful. I'm dancing with her. Oh, that's a nice bit there. Let's pull it all over. Let's see where you want to go. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to sit? Come on, show me. Show me where you're at. There. There you are. All right, let's have a look at that. There. There's a little bit of weight there. I'm just going to get around. Look, just there. Look, you can see it. Boom. It's gone. All right, let's pull all of you into that now. I'd usually cut that, to tell you the truth. I'd usually point cut that, but I'm feeling quite confident with this. So, and the reason I point cut, there you go, look. So I'll start point cutting that just to leave a little soft edge. I'm going to direct this back, pull this right back so I get the undulation at the front, you know, that over direction. Point cut that in. We're done. Guys, we are done. That, I mean, look at that. It's looking absolutely beautiful. I'm not going to worry about anything falling over just yet. Oh, here's the cheeky bit. Let me get this really close because this, you're going to love this. Just there is now the connecting point between the two. So you've got a connecting point through there and your line. So we're just going to build that up. Look. I'm going to pull this out. Watch this. Look, you see it there. Look at it build. Watch. Give it a little twist. There's your finishing point. There's your line. That's connected the two together. You've just connected the two sides together. Pull this over. There it is. Can you see it? Beautiful. In, pull. There it is. Twist it down a bit. Lovely. We'll just, do you know what? If there's other bits to get, we'll get them later. Just a little bit of point cutting around there, soften this up. Now we're going to go into the blow dry, guys. Hope you're not too bored. I'm going to get my noisy Cloud9 dryer. I have used on the hair. I'm going to use a nozzle because I want a good direction of blast. Good control of airflow, quite a nice stream of it. You take the nozzle off afterwards. Now, I've used my favorite product, which I'm going to live and die by. Again, here it is again, Miracle 15. You absolute legends, Schwarzkopf. Thank you for this product. Does everything I need. If I need a bit of volume, you know, I'll go over to the volumizing spray. Just stick with that. Smooths the hair, protects the hair, glistens the hair, molds the hair. It's amazing. Now, two types of brush that we're going to use, guys. We've got the 413, originally made. I've had this brush for 10 years. 10 years. It's had, you know, this is the same brush I had 10 years ago. I've had four new handles, four new wood parts on it. I've, you know, really looked after it. I've had 6 different types of, cushions here. It's the same brush I had, 10 years ago. Yeah, I've just looked after it. 4 new handles, 6 new brushes. Love it. Still the same brush. All right, Rodney. I can hear Rodney in my ear. Right. Start at the bottom. Tip the head forward. Hairdryer between your legs. Pull that forward. Watch this, guys. Bear with me. Here we go. Thank you so much for coming, guys. Okay, so I am going to concentrate, first of all, on this bottom edge. Yeah? So I'm going to concentrate on that bottom edge. That's all I'm looking for. Just a nice little flow. Get the hair dry where I want it drier. Obviously. Obviously, Daniel. Of course you want it drier. That's where you go. But swoop it round. Look at that. Get right in there. These doll's heads are really stubborn. Wrap dry that. Direct the air where you need it. Just keep going. Go back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Like left, right, right, left. Just keep working that. You get a lovely flow. And because this isn't so tight, it lets the hair be hair. It doesn't kind of pull it straight in. Like boom, 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 boom. Get that in there. Look at that. Let's really tuck that under. I pray that this haircut comes out lovely. I'm praying for it, guys. Pray with me here. Throw me your energy, guys. Throw me your energy. Are you feeling good, guys? I'm feeling a little bit better now. I'm really happy I turned up today. I made the effort. I'm really happy that you've made the effort. Just be a bit mad there. Sorry. I lost my shit there, didn't I? Whoosh. Get that round. There we go. Push it. Push it. Push it. Oh, look at the shine building up on there. You can see that real graduation. Wait until the end of this haircut. You're going to love it. You're going to love this one. This is like, where you go, oh, that's how it's done. I love that. Right, so going to come around the front, like round the side here. I'm not very good at changing my left or right hand, so I've kind of like worked, you know, that I'll stand like this and I'll just kind of like blow dry down. But actually, the idea would be to use this side and swap hands. Well, I don't know about you. Don't work. Doesn't work for me. But some of you geniuses out there are ambidextrous. Is that the right word? Yeah, let's use that word. Ambidextrous. Okay, I'm just going to try it now and just move her head over because I don't want that. I'm just going to tilt that there. I mean, this is like watching paint dry, isn't it? But, you know, maybe concentrate. Like, what's he doing and why? What's he looking at when he's blow drying? What is he looking at? Where's his point of focus? Is it on the lengths, the roots, the shape, the shine? What is it? Where is he? Where's Daniel Granger's mind? Where's it going? Where's it going? Where's it going? There we go. Look at that. Look. Let's get that. This is called a wrap drying technique. And we want that hair to really sit lovely. So just keep pushing that around. I'm going to switch brushes in a minute because I want that a bit tighter. Yeah? I'm going to pull that, like, just get all that hair over. I'm trying to do this like on my tiptoes. Look at that, look, really follow that round. Oh, yeah. Bam, forward now. We're going to go forward. And just build that picture. See what I mean? Like, you see it, all that root direction has to be good. It's about the finish, guys. It's about the finish. You've got to put a good finish on the hair. If you don't put a good finish, what a waste of time. What a waste of your time. And actually, here's a point. You could do a crap haircut, finish it good, and you'll bluff it. I tell you, right. Oh, I'm hot. I'm hot. It is the summer. Hopefully some of you guys are sat outside. There's Neil, bless you, mate. You've got hay fever. He was like, I can't even sit outside. I feel sorry for you there, bro. Right, here we go. I'm just going to do the front. I'm just going to bring it all forward because it looks cool. You wouldn't do this on a client. But let's take this out. Let's work on my line now. So we're going to work on the line, which is the front area. And look how lovely and easily this brush pulls through the hair. And turn under, turn under, turn under. Give it some. Right, now we're into the front. I'm just going to make sure that line's perfect first. Make sure it's not jumping around. I need a stronger brush on there with a bit of tension. That's when I'll switch over to my Denman, which has an overlapping plastic teeth. And they kind of flat iron the hair out for you. Okay. So really, all I'm doing with that longer hair, I'm just concentrating on the root area. Just concentrating on the root area, mainly. I'm going to dry all this forward. Just going to get a lot of it dry first. I'm going to dance around her for a bit. There we go. Let's get a lot of that dry. And then I'll go in with like my tighter teeth to really kind of pull the straightness out of this haircut. Because it looks good when it's shiny and smooth. Because then it gives you more control over your graduation. I may need a break, guys, because I am absolutely sweating my wallocks off. But I'm going to finish this blow dry now. I'm moving over to this brush here. Has flexible teeth and a more rounded surface. Yeah, this one's quite a nice one. So what I'm going to, it's just that little bit more up tension. It's just a little bit more up from the last previous brush. Well, that, you can really stretch it out a little bit. Helps you stretch it out. Also, like when you get it in your brush, you can curve under a bit more. Look, you can kind of like use the second half of the brush to kind of like curve that hair, not create too much volume from it as well. Woo! I'm burning up here. Love it. I feel like I'm in Bali. Oh, I had my daughter around the other day, and we got the swimming pool out. My youngest, and my son was there as well, and it was nice. And my ex came over, and it was actually quite nice. It was quite calm, quite lovely. It was for the kids. It was really nice. But we put the sun cream on, and man, I was like, oh, I'm on holiday. Like, where do you wish you were right now? Where do you wish? Do you know where I wish I was? I wish I was in Hanging Gardens of Bali Hotel. That's where I wish I was right now. Going to that spa. How many of you have massages? Because, like, for me, that's a must in life. I have reflexology. I have massages. I have the lot. I know, like, I've been speaking to some people, and they've never even been for a massage. I'm like, are you mad? Except for I did go to this one place up the road from me. It's around the corner. And this is quite a funny story, guys. I'm not sure why I should tell you this. But I was talking funny stories with a mate of mine last night. And they were telling me like some of the stupid things and the situations you get yourself into where you should have said maybe no. I did say no, by the way. But anyway, so it's a Thai massage parlour. And I used to go there for like my back problems and stuff like that. And then this new girl come in, or this new woman. She must have been in her late 60s. And she, I just went in for my normal massage that I normally have. And she gets on being a bit cheeky with me. She's going, oh, you naughty boy. You naughty boy. I'm like, what are you on about? Like, and then, next thing you know, I'm in my pants. She grabbed my willy and shook it. I mean, what is that? I was a little bit scared of that. She shook it and I was like, shall we end it now? Shall we end it now? Yeah, I think we should end this massage now. I mean, talk about like invade your private space. I've never been violated that in my life. If that was a man and a, can you imagine? I came back to the salon, shocked as hell. Do you remember that, guys? I was a bit like, I'm not sure what's just happened there, guys. I'm not sure what has happened. Funny. So I go back there every week now. No, joke. I've never been in there again, just in case I'm like scared the life out of me. I'm quite a courageous person, but I don't fancy doing that twice. So I'm just keep on going through this haircut. And just keep blow drying it so I can see, you know, definitely where the, you know, I'm now scanning the haircut, kind of going, where do I want the haircut to be? What do I want it to kind of like look like? So I'm making sure that, you know, like I'm almost kind of pre-planning my next part of the journey with this haircut. Look at that. Yep. Nearly there. Got a few things that I need to work out, but I'm nearly there. I'll do the rest of it. Yeah. Okay, guys, so we're coming up to the end of my blow dry where the sweat is now dripping through my back. I can't wait to get in my fully aircon salon. Like, if you haven't got aircon in your salon, like, what are you thinking? Like, you're blowing hot air through something that blows hot air. I mean, you're gonna bake. Your clients are gonna bake. It's not gonna be nice. Yeah, there's one thing that I always said to myself. I want my, you know, my salon to have the best air conditioning unit there is. This thing, it was £10,000, but it's worth every penny. It heats my salon and it cools my salon. It is absolutely a monster. It's this big tube that runs through the entire salon from up and down. I mean, I could turn it. I could freeze fish with it. It is that good. It is that amazing, and it warms you up lovely as well. You know, I always think about, you know, like, what do my staff want? I don't have a staff room because that's where all the negative energy can sometimes breed. So I have an open room. You can sit at my bar, you can eat your food there, speak to the clients as they come through, and just still be in action mode. I believe that, you know, staff rooms, there shouldn't be a staff room. I really believe you shouldn't have staff rooms. You don't need them. You don't need a staff room. Okay, so we're on the last section now, guys, as I'm blow drying this hair. Look at all that shape. Can you see all that shape in there? You can see how this is going to end up, can't you? Already, loving that. I like it in the camera. I'm just looking down at my image there. I think that's looking cool. But I am going to show you a nice quick way of doing this as well. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, bless you. You've already stuck it out. Let's get up there. You know, thank you so much for coming to my last webinar. Now, I do, please like this. When we go into the break, I want you to share this. I also want you to kind of open your email and have a look at that discount code that I sent you all. Hopefully all of you. If you haven't, if you go onto weareperfectionists.co.uk, you can subscribe there and I can send that email out to you. On this video, we're going to put the discount code. Now, I talked them into this because I said, look, not many people have got any money and they can't really afford to buy these really expensive heads with good quality hair and good stitching. Would you please allow my people to use my code? And he said yes. Now I know he could make a lot more money, but he said, yeah, I'm going to do that for you because you've supported me. And that's what it's about. Same with Akito. They've supported me. Find your brand, support them. They should support you back. If you don't feel that you're getting anything back, jump ship straight away. You know, if they're not participating in how much you're putting in, you know, if they're not giving you the love back, then jump ship, try another ship. Same with like relationships, man. If it's not working, get out. Get out. Don't waste your time. Because time is so precious. If you're not happy, change it. If there's something you're not happy with, you change. Don't expect that to change. You change. You make that decision. You take control of your life. It's your life. Ready? Look at this. Look at that. So, We're nearly there. Look how smooth I've got that, guys. Got that pretty smooth, haven't I? Now I'm going to run the flat iron through it, which is going to look, you know, I'm just going to do a little bit of teasing, guys. You know, I'd work on getting this absolutely perfect, but if I do, you're going to be here until Christmas. I reckon we can run over with that in a minute and have that absolutely stunning. So let me just have a check of that. It's looking pretty cool. How's it looking, Daryl? How's it looking, Chloe? How's it looking? I know you're going to give me the thumbs up even if it was shocking. Look at me, like, I'm really putting everything into this. I'm trying to impress you guys. I'm peacocking. I'm peacocking. Who do you think would win out of a fight? A peacock or a swan? Which one? I don't know. I'm so hot. I'm so hot. Whew. I'm sweating. I'm glad I'm not wearing any makeup anymore. I used to wear makeup with this, but then I was feeling a little bit like shabby. Okay, so I'm going to straighten this out. Okay, guys, I'm going to do a little bit behind camera. Now, obviously, I'm going to wait for the finale. I'm going to leave these girls here for a minute. What you saying? What you saying? You see where that's going, can't you? Yeah? You're going to watch this last bit. You're going to love it. I'm very excited to do this. I'm really, really happy. Guys, while we're on a break, I'm going to roll the advert out for the Courage and Cutting. We've got 4 places left. 4 places left. Okay? If it's money you're worried about, you can pay me over the next 12 months. You know, I'm happy for that. You just go in there, you set up your payment plan, and you can just pay that in there. You know, I'm dedicated to you. And if it's money you're worried about, let's do it. But you do need to buy your heads and a stand. You don't have to buy mine, but mine are cheap and they are the best. We are back live with me and my doll's head and this beautiful last haircut that I'll be doing before we embark on my Courage and Cutting course from next week. I'm so excited. Do you know what? I'm really excited for what I've achieved. You know, sometimes you've got to be very grateful for what you've done. Focus on the good things in life. So I'm going to start underneath here. Tiny little sections. Just clip gently away. So I'm going to hook that under like that. And it's just going to bevel down. Now, when I get my iron, I always go light with my iron. And then give it a little tap. So I'm going to start building that picture. I'm not going to go too mad on it, guys, because I feel that, you know, watching me do this, you might get a bit insane. So here we go. So let's build that down. Let's get that. Put the back of the iron on the hair if you want it a bit more sleeker. Just bevel it down, like give it a little turn under. There we go. Nice little diagonal sections or straight sections. That's the straight section. I'm lying to you now. All right, so that, like, get that and just bevel it under. Don't kind of focus on it being straight. Get that little tuck it down with the iron. I'm not using any kind of hairsprays or products. I want the hair to really flow freely through my fingers once I've completed the task. I'm just going to get back in there, actually. Look, there's a little bit there that I just want to grab along the hairline. These are stubborn hairlines. Just there, look. Just there. There we go. Right, let's pull that in. Let's get that nice and flat. I mean, this is like watching paint dry for you guys, but I'm going to build you up to the finale where we control this haircut so beautifully. All right, but I'm going to try and be a bit quicker. So a little bit quicker, Dan, because you're losing momentum. You're losing the momentum of the guys out there, aren't we? No, I'm not really. I know you're with me, guys, and you've had a good time. We've had a good journey. Do you know we've done nearly, let's say... Okay, so if my maths is correct, I have taught you now for over 18 hours. 18 hours of education I've given you. Like I did that day, take me to the place I love. Definitely not going on X Factor next year, am I? I don't think there is going to be an X Factor next year. Social distancing. Imagine that queue. Right, just coming in here, really spitting in there. If you haven't already liked, please like this video. Please share this video. I'm saying it one more time, you know. I know you get bored of it, but it's the only way to kind of get my voice and my message out there, to get, you know, this education doing. This video will be going live again, so you can have a nice little recap on it later if you wanted to, or share it with your friends. And when it comes out, guys, even if you kind of like give it a little scrub through to the best bits, and give it a share when a video comes out, because we do take the video back and we edit it up and we put a lot of time into this, you know, descriptions, thumbnails, and hopefully this will be a good way of me getting to those people, let's say like in Colombia. I mean, how beautiful is that? They're watching in Colombia right now. I mean, I don't even know what time it would be there, but okay. What time would it be in America right now? I think they're about 7 hours behind us, aren't they? Or in front? I think 7 hours behind. I'd say behind. So we're coming into the back of the graduation now. So I'm just going to tuck down. I'm going to take my diagonal sections with the flow, because I always would like to work on the diagonal, guys, because then you don't get too many lines. And always take your sections nice and fine as well, otherwise you get like straightening marks through the hair. But this is like where you're seeing all these precision haircuts come out, this is how they're flat ironed. You know, sometimes they use a little bit of prep spray, like a hairspray or a shine spray, to kind of get that really sleek, straight look. And they spray each section down. But you know, that's not me. That's not what I like. My hair, if I swing it, it moves like normal hair does, you know, not stiff as a cardboard. But it does look really cool when you do that. You know, when you get the bob hanging off the edge of the haircut. Oh, it looks so beautiful. Really talented. Mazzara and Palmer are the ones that do it best. Absolutely do it best. You know, be careful who you get to choose to educate you guys. Hopefully you choose me to be your educator for your life. As we grow old together through our careers, you'll be coming on my courses, we'll be meeting each other. My big thing, I want to be on stage, right? So I have a dream of, like, you know, maybe being on stage in front of you all and doing one of these seminars live with you. You know, real experience, you know, selling out Wembley. Can you imagine that? No, it won't be Wembley, will it? Of course it won't. You know, obviously have realistic goals, Daniel. Have realistic goals. Can you imagine that? We did a show in Wembley and it was packed out like it was Ricky Martin or something. Why did I choose Ricky Martin? I'm not sure why I chose Ricky Martin. Maybe Robin Williams. There we go. Coming through the hair. Remember, just a little bevel. Tuck the graduation into each other. Looks fantastic. Just get all that. Now, if there's any bits in this haircut that you kind of thought, oh, I needed to kind of, you'll see it now as you're going through the haircut. You'll see the different root direction and whether it was smooth enough or not for you. So I am going to start doing some more videos when I get a bit of free time to keep my YouTube channel alive. I mean, when you look at my YouTube channel on a computer, you can see all my videos that we've done with the help of Daniel Thomas. It's really helped me kind of like get creative with this, because I was walking into the unknown. I knew nothing about YouTube before this. You know, I started kind of running my courses off of Zoom, and, you know, I thought, oh, I need to change some bits up here. You know, I need to change. So, you know, we took it to YouTube, and now, you know, I'm watching my son, and he is 4 years old. He was 4 the other day. We had a great birthday with him. You obviously saw that on Instagram as well. And, you know, Instagram's a build-up of memories there, but he can work YouTube and the search options and everything. So think about the next generations as they're going to learn. You know, we're into YouTube, but not as much as it's going to be in such a big way. And people earn a lot of money from YouTube as well. You know, it can be profitable, and the most random stuff comes up. I mean, he watches this thing called Slimer, and it's all about like the Ghostbusters Slimer. He absolutely loves it. Gives him a little bit of fear. Look what I'm doing there. Look, I'm just like using the heat to kind of calm that root direction down. Just using the side of the iron. I haven't got the iron turned all the way up to the top either, because that can dehydrate the hair. But we've got Miracle 15 on here by Schwarzkopf, Osis Session label, which helps protect the hair and give it shine as we work the hair. Find your right product, find your favorite product, because you're going to need that on your station every single time. Every single client that you do, you know, you're going to probably sell the same products to. We always, you know, if you believe in something, you can sell it. It's about believing in yourself as well. If you believe in yourself, you'll sell it. Do you know what I mean by that? Yeah? The biggest thing you can find right now in these next 4 weeks is love who you are. If you don't like who you are, you change who you are. Okay? If there's some things in your life where you knew that's not the person you want to be, then you make a conscious effort. But if you're aware of it, it's about being aware, guys. Just be aware of yourself, you know? Be aware of things that you would like to change. Coming into here, like, I'm just dressing this forward. Obviously, she's not going to wear this in a salon. It's not going to happen. This isn't a salon haircut, really. Or could it be? I mean, she wouldn't get very far. She would walk into all the bloody doors, wouldn't she? She can't see nothing. So here we go. I think we've got a lovely... Yeah, lovely. Do you know what? I'm happy with that. So one more little flat iron on the top. Just kind of get you impressed. There we go. I'm impressing you much. I'm peacocking. I'm peacocking now, guys. There's a few little areas in there, but I ain't going to worry about that too much. I'm not going to worry about that too much. Now I'm going to show you a nice, quick, and effective way. I'm going to keep those irons on, because once we've cut into that hair, just where the hair was too straight, we can bevel it again. Now, I'm going to show you this. Like, if I wanted to do something quite creative, what I could do is kind of like just tilt that off, get a little kicker at the back and have that pointing out, but I want to kind of keep it nice and simple like the other one. So here, I'm going to create that curve from there to there. I'm going to use the clipper. The reason I'm going to use the clipper is that it kind of pretty much guarantees it comes off, right? So I'm just going to tuck my line in. Now, I won't do the whole haircut with this, because I feel that it's too aggressive. Do you know what I mean? It's too aggressive. Let me get that nice and close for you, so you can really see the detail that I'm going to put into this haircut. I'm going to pull it in nice and close for you, so you can really see what I'm doing. So I'm going to comb that down, get a nice little natural flow. Yeah, I'm going to use my Babyliss freehand clipper and just tidy those little bits up there, look, just into that, like that. Yeah, now I'm going to get behind the ear here. I'm going to use it like a pencil. I'm going to pin it down a bit with a scissor. Watch this, ready? So I'm going to pin it down with the comb, sorry. And now I'm going to just carve that off. Just carve it off, look. You're not going to get an accurate finish on this without the scissor. So, you know, I'm just going to put the bulk of my shape in there. See those little bits like coming out, so I'm only going to be able to get those with point cutting. That's the difference between using your clipper and using your scissor to refine. And you'll see the difference in a minute. Look at that. Alright, so I'm just going to get my shape in there. I kind of like say it as if it's like an ice sculptor. He will carve out the, you know, if he's doing an angel, he'll carve out the wings. He'll carve out the shape. Let's get that off. Let's just get that off. Come on off. There we go. See the brand there? That's the Anna. So it's the 1013 Anna that I use. Beautiful hair. We're going to come into this side and just carve that off. You see how quickly that comes off? Sometimes you can spend too much time with your scissor, and actually you just need to get the clipper in there. Look, get that in there. Get that bulk off. See it really coming together. Now we've got the front area. Pin that in. Pin it in. Look at that. That's off now. That's off. Look at that. Off. Done. Now come in with your scissor. This is where you get the accuracy with your blade. Okay, so now I'm going to start on my side here. And pull that in. Look for any areas that I need to kind of now point cut. And how I do that, I'm going to use my scissor, but I'm going to support my scissor with my other hand. And then I'm going to point cut these little areas out. I'm just going to jab at it really. Just kind of like, and just work that line. Get underneath. Get rid of some of that graduation under there. Don't get me wrong, like I could spend hours doing this. But obviously we haven't got hours, guys. I'm just really like just sculpting. It's always good to go one way or the other. But, so now like, I'm going to get right underneath that haircut like that. Look, underneath there. And point cut those little bits underneath. So my eye line, I'm looking underneath the haircut. And just strengthening that line up. You could spend hours doing this. Have so much fun. You step back from your work. And you go, oh, I've got to do it again. You know, as I say, there's a guy that I've been watching. And it's Jack Mead. Incredible artist. Very humble as well. That's what I like about him. And his wife Lydia. If you haven't followed them already, give them a little follow and see what they're up to. You know, they're doing really well. Yeah, what's your question, Dan? I've got a question here from someone. Oh, so the clipper, I use like the Babyliss freehand clippers. I use the portable ones because then I haven't got a wire to work with and I can like work left to right. So I'm just going to keep working on this, guys, just for a minute. And then I have the normal one as well, just a normal clipper. So now, like I'm looking at this line, that's atrocious, and that's you can't really get a really good finish with a clipper. So you have to kind of point cut this away. So guys, I know you're gagging to ask me questions. That's why we're going to have hair talks at the end, which has become quite a nice thing because it's when I can calm down. I haven't got my scissors in my hand and I can really concentrate on the questions you need answering. Like any questions you want to ask me. I'm a fountain of knowledge. I'm a fountain of knowledge, but all I know is what I know. So don't ask me anything too difficult, yeah? So I'm just like looking at that of like, how does that shape progress? Get underneath that. I'm going to have a look at my old one there. Yeah, we're about the same. We're about similar. It's nice to do these haircuts now and again. And you never know. You never know. What you put out there, you might attract. And you might get one of these haircuts walk through your door. You know, you might get this haircut walk through your door and I go like, you know, haircutting is going to change. We don't know what the fashion's going to be. I think a lot of solid colours. Just tucking my scissor underneath here, look. Just tuck it underneath there. Cut the underneath away. It's the underneath that's going to be bugging you. Just cut the underneath away. Get that flow. Think about the whole shape. How it's all coming together. That's looking lovely. And pull this down at the front. Get that finger tension in there. I'm going to leave that there. I think that looks absolutely wicked. Wicked. Now, I'm going to teach you. This is the key point here. Okay, this is a good point. Okay, so we're going to separate the hair out in a nice little section there. Yeah, now and again, like I like to put the clip in, but do remember when you use clips, some, like if you can get the flat clips with no like bevels or marks in it. So I'm going to work on this area only. I need to put that in my mouth. Okay, so we're going to work on that area only. And remember, there's a little bevel there that we wanted to capture. We're going to do that dry. So we're going to get our fingers, and this is called dusting. This is something that Damien Carney taught me decades ago, and I've never let go. Get your hand there, and then just scissor over comb and move. Scissor over finger. Just take your very ends off, you know, and this will just get all the graduation, yeah, that you ever needed. Perfect. You know, it's just like you've got the hair in its driest state, and you just scissor over comb like that, just dusting the edges off, and it just produces a really lovely graduation. You keep going in there. Right, let's just get that a little bit nicer just there. Just let the bottom fall out. You can see the bevel there. Then don't leave those clips in for too long. Grab another section of hair out at the front and back. Have I still got your attention, guys? Give me a yes. Give me a I'm loving this. Or dude, that was your final one. You failed it. No, I'm joking. Please don't say that. I just like the love. Show me the love. There we go. All right, here we go, guys. Look at that. Do you see how that just sat down there? Look at that. Ready? I'm going to do it one more time for you. Watch this. I love it when I do this. Like, just get rid of that underneath. You don't need to be in there. Ready? So I'm going to pull this out. Yeah. See that a little bit there? Yeah, watch this. And see it fall. Watch it fall. Oh, lovely. Yeah, do a little bit back through the back again. And that's pretty much, that'll be polished. I mean, you can see that the control that you can get between graduation line, and now we're going to filter with a layer. I mean, I haven't really kind of planned this layer out, so I'm going to see what it looks like afterwards, but hopefully I'm going to do it on both haircuts and it's going to work. So we don't actually need to kind of like do too much of the graduation into the top. So I'm just going to smarten this bit up a little bit at the back. Yeah, so here you can see the bevel there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through, I'm going to comb the weight, all that weight. You can separate it again, but look, see I've got a little bit there. You see that tiny little edge. Yeah, so put it right onto my fingers, get the scissor in there, and just kind of like float it up, and you'll get everything sitting in its perfect home. Around this corner, did I need a little bit more in there? Possibly, you know, maybe not. You know, let's try, see what happens. Because we're going to layer it, I'm not too worried. Now let's check the bevel between the front and the back. Let's check that. Let's just do a little bit of dusting on that. Remember, there's no texture in these haircuts at all. So let me bring in one. And let me bring in number two. Let me bring them in. Now, let's see if we've got this about right. I think we're a bit longer on one than the other. Let's have a look. Let's grab those two bits. Yeah, we're a little bit longer on this side, but that's not going to matter too much. So let's do the layer. So I'm going to switch my big comb here. I'm going to drop these girls both down to about here so you can see what I'm doing. There's one. Then we're going to bring her in nice and close to this one. And then drop that down. There's two. There's two of the same haircuts. So what we're going to do, we're going to point cut. We're going to shatter. We're going to start creating something beautiful. Ready? Steady. Here we go. Who shall we start on? Let's start on model number one. Okay, so we're going to work through the crown. What we're going to do is we're going to pick that up, 45 degree it, and we're going to point cut. We're going to point cut that layer. Really soften that out. And we're on a kind of like 45 degree angle sort of thing. We're going to point cut that out. Just get your scissors nice and straight to the hair. Nice and straight to the hair, and you'll never cut off too much. Yeah? And then we're going to come around this side. We're going to direct this backwards. I think we're going to go backwards here. You know, we're going to over direct to the back of that haircut. That's going to be lovely. And then we're going to do this side of the haircut. Now we've got to be careful because this side's longer, right? So if we cut that shorter, so let's over direct everything over to this one point. Now hopefully I'll remember this on the other haircut. So I'm just going to literally pull all that hair in. Yeah, I'm going to pull it all up, all of it. That's what I'm going to do. Pull it all up over here, over direct it, all to one stationary point, shorter to longer, cut that. That's lovely. Do it again at the front, over direct, point cutting, softening that out. That's going to look gorgeous, I think. Absolutely gorgeous. Come in with maybe some little bit of texture here as well, over here. Let's just point and cut that out. And that's really floating those sections. Lovely. Now, let's look at the front of that shape. Let's have a look at the front of there. Let's comb that knot out. Okay, so this will be interesting. Let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to elevate this shape up. Okay, now I've got that angle there. So I'm just going to take that out. And, you know, I really kind of like know what I'm doing here, but yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of like adding some free flow into it. Now, that one, I think that's lovely, polished and finished. Now, let's do exactly the same on this one. So remember, we came over here and we dropped in. So I was on this corner, but now I'm going to be on this corner. So let's drop that in. Let's get the 45-degree angle, yeah, off the top of the head and start cutting that away. You know, nice point, nice straight blade into there. Just nice bit of texture. That's where it's going to all come from. Over direct it back. Remember, I over directed back somewhere over here. Pull this in, layer that up. Over direct this back on this side. Then what did I do? What did I do, guys? On this side, I then over directed towards this side of the layer. There we go. Right, now point cut. Really soften that out, you know, loosen that precision up, let the hair be hair, let it flow. All right, and shorter to longer. Remember, shorter to longer now. Shorter to longer. Let's get a little side profile of that one so you can really see what I'm doing there. Now I'm going to drag all that hair over. This is the finale. Drag all that hair over, get rid of that knot. All right, pull all this over here. Yeah, and then cut that through. Look. Sound effects not included. Now, going to go to the front of the haircut. We're going to level that up, get that fringe working on top of there. So we're going to pull this up, get that going in there. How you feeling, guys? You feeling good? Feeling a bit more positive? Yeah, look, let's get that off there. Beautiful. Now, if I want to drop in some texture, which I'm not really interested in, texturizing, I could do it any time of the day. But we have an absolutely stunning couple of girls here. Absolutely, really happy with that. I'm going to give you a little guided tour of these two lovely haircuts in just a second. Just a second. Let me get them nice and level for you, because that's something that I didn't think I'd be able to do today. And I've done it. I'm going to get a little bit of hairspray. You know, obviously I could work on these a little bit more for you guys, but I think visually you've kind of grasped it. You've got it. You know what you're doing now. You're going to have a go at this haircut. Little bit of hairspray. Drag it through with the brush. Don't go too crazy with the brush. Don't go too crazy with the hairspray, sorry. Like me. Let's give it that. Give it some of that. Give it some of that. You know, this is the Instant Freeze from Session Label. Absolutely wicked product, because as it hits the hair, it's already drying out. It doesn't dampen your style. You know, it doesn't dampen it at all. Let's have a look at that. Right, let's give that a nice little brush through. Let's give that a little comb now. Push them into position. See where we're at. See if they look sexy. Yeah, they look sexy. Absolutely delicious. I feel like I've done a cracking job of that. And that one. Which one did I do today? This one. So, you know, it's a true art form. Can you do the same haircut on the same mannequin head and get it both looking exactly the same? Let's have a little look at these guys. Here we go. Ready? So, she's got a little bit more of an open fringe. Let's close her down. So they look pretty much the same. And it's pretty much the same. I am impressed with that. Obviously, you could drop in a fringe. It's up to you what you want to do with this haircut afterwards. But, you know, I really enjoyed kind of learning this process and exercising our graduation techniques, our layering techniques, and our line techniques. This is what it's all about. Let's get that a little bit there. I think that looks good. So, what can I do here? Because I want to give you a little guided tour. There we go. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can do this. Right. I'm going to I think this would be a great part of the video, you see, when we kind of recap it back. I'm going to put the stands up. I'm going to stand them up. I'm going to hold them both in my hands. I'm going to lean that one against me. I'm going to pull this one down. Now, you can't see what I'm doing here, but what I'm doing is I'm pulling the stands up so I can get you a nice little 360 on both of these heads without clacking together. I think this is going to work. Are you ready? Look at that. Okay, I think we're there. You're ready. So, here we go, guys. That's a nice image, isn't it? That's a nice picture. There, grab that picture. Look at this. As we go around the haircut now, we're going to go round. Ready? Ready? Going to give it a little twist. Ready? There it is. There we go. Look at that. A little bit longer on one side. But you can see the art of that. It's been absolutely really good fun to do today. Really good fun to do today. I'm very impressed with that. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the seminar today, the webinar today. I'm really impressed with a lot of you and how you are and the fact that you've come on board and I'm a little bit more of a spiritual guy these days and I want to live in an abundance of happiness, and the techniques that I've shown you have really helped me get through this time. Use these techniques, find your own techniques. It's not about working just on your haircuts, it's working on yourself. And if you work on yourself as much as I work on myself, you will live in a creative abundance of life. Your creativity, because you won't have fear, you won't have suffering, you won't have naggy, you won't have anything. You will just be happy, loving, kind, curious, and all these things will come out. Yeah? Coming out. Guys, thank you so much for coming.